And in the other semi-final of the one women's atomweight world Grand Prix, Indian pride Ritu Phogat faces off against the Philippines' Jenelyn Olsim, who comes in as an alternate. Welcome both to Jenelyn and Ritu. Ritu, we'll start with you. People in the past have made a habit of doubting your rise, of underestimating you. Do you believe that you proved to everyone that you should no longer be underestimated?
तो वो बोल रहे हैं आपको पास्ट में अंडर एस्टिमेट किया गया है, तो क्या आपको लगता है कि आपको अंडर एस्टिमेट नहीं करना चाहिए?
बिल्कुल, मुझे लगता है कि मुझे मतलब कोई भी आंकने की कोशिश मत करे, अंडर एस्टिमेट करने की कोशिश मत करे, क्योंकि लोगों को नहीं पता कि मैं कब क्या कर दूं, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि मुझ में वो ताकत है, मुझ में वो पावर है, तो मेरे को कभी भी अंडर एस्टिमेट ना करें.
Okay. So she says, yes, definitely do not underestimate me. I have the power, I have the strength to prove you wrong. So yes, watch out. Do not underestimate me at all.
Jenelyn, we know that Ritu's power mostly lies on the ground. She's a phenomenal wrestler. Do you believe that that is her biggest asset? And how do you think you'll handle her power on the ground should it go to ground on Friday night?
Yes, I believe that wrestling is her biggest asset. And I think I can handle her wrestling. And of course, I want to prove that I am not just some alternate that they will feed on her. And that when it comes to wrestling, maybe I can also grapple with her on the ground.
Ritu, of course, a shocking turn of events with Itsuki Hirata having to withdraw from the Grand Prix due to illness. How does that affect you, having to fight a new opponent who is nothing like Itsuki Hirata on very short notice?
बिल्कुल, मैं हिराटा के लिए मैंने ये एक बहुत अच्छा मैचअप था, क्योंकि ये फैंस ने मैच किया था, तो बिल्कुल ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग मैच होने वाला था और मैं भी काफी एक्साइटेड थी इस मैच को लेकर. लेकिन एंड मौके पर मेरी अपोनेंट चेंज होगी, तो उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, क्योंकि मैंने हार्ड वर्क किया है और मुझे अपने हार्ड वर्क पे बिलीव है, तो मैं अपना 110% दूंगी, वहां पे जाके अपना बेस्ट दूंगी.
So she says she was really hoping to fight Hirata, because that's something that had come in through popular public demand, and you know, she was prepared for Hirata, but right now, although it's come at the 11th hour, although it's a late intimation, but she's confident about her skills, she's confident about her abilities, her training per se, and she knows that she can take on anyone. So definitely not something that shakes her up.
Jenelyn, have you had a chance to study a lot of tape of Ritu Phogat and her past fights?
Yes. Actually, my previous fight, which was cancelled, was against a wrestler and a grappler too. So I think I am very confident too on my training, and I have prepared on that kind of game. Plus, we trained at the gym, not just on one aspect, but on, of course, wrestling, grounds, and striking.
So, Jenelyn, from what you've seen of Ritu in her past couple of fights against Lin He-shin and against Mong Bo, have you seen any holes in her game you think you can exploit, any weaknesses in Ritu?
I think I don't underestimate Ritu, but I can, I can outstrike her when it comes to that. And I also know that we also know that her biggest strength is wrestling. So I think I'm just not gonna let her pin me down.
Ritu, do you think that opponents continue to underestimate your striking? Even Itsuki Hirata did say that all you had was a hard overhand right, and that was it. Do you think that opponents underestimate your striking capabilities?
तो वो बोल रहे हैं कि आपको लगता है आपके अपोनेंट आपकी जो स्ट्राइकिंग एबिलिटीज है उसको थोड़ा हल्के में लेते हैं, जैसे कि इत्सुकी हिराटा ने भी यही बोला था कि आपको जो आपका ताकत है वो है सिर्फ जमीन पर, तो क्या आपका स्ट्राइकिंग को आपको लगता है थोड़े हल्के में लिया जाता है?
बिल्कुल, क्योंकि मैंने इतने मेरे जितने भी मैच हुए हैं इतनी स्ट्राइकिंग देखने को नहीं मिली और मुझे नहीं लगता कि मुझे, क्योंकि अभी तक इतनी जरूरत भी नहीं पड़ी है क्योंकि मेरी रेसलिंग काम कर रही है। तो जब तक ये काम करेगी तो मैं अपनी रेसलिंग ही करूंगी और जब इस पे मतलब कोई इसको मतलब डिफेंस कर लेगा तो मैं अपनी स्ट्राइकिंग को और भी बेटर बनाऊंगी और बिल्कुल आप इस मैच में मेरी स्ट्राइकिंग को बेटर देखोगे।
Sure. So she says, yes, that's a fair assessment, and yes, people are sort of underestimating her striking because people haven't seen much of her striking. She's very gracious to say that. However, having said that, she says that all this while, wrestling has been one of her weapon, one of her strongest weapons, and she's continued to leverage this to pin down her opponent. And if it's working for her, it's working for her, as simple as that. And she will continue to capitalize on this to emerge victorious for her upcoming fights too. But definitely, striking is an area that she is improving, and you'll get to see a lot more of it in the upcoming matches.
Ritu, from what you have seen of Jenelyn Olsim's previous fights, have you spotted any weaknesses, any chinks in her armor that you think you can exploit on Friday night?
रितु, क्या आपने कुछ देखा है उसका वीकनेस या कुछ जो आपको लगता है आपके लिए थोड़ा फायदेमंद हो सकता है?
मैं बस यही कहूंगी कि वो एक अच्छी फाइटर है और बिल्कुल मैं अपने मतलब ये मेरे लिए एक न्यू चैलेंज है तो बिल्कुल मैं उसके लिए रेडी हूँ। तो मतलब मैं अपने अपोनेंट की वीकनेस को मतलब बताकर उसकी मतलब डिसरिस्पेक्टफुल नहीं करना चाहती। बिल्कुल वो बहुत अच्छी फाइटर है और मैं उसके लिए रेडी हूँ।
She says she wouldn't want to underestimate her fighter, her opponent. And yes, she's seen certain gaps, but she does not want to disrespect her opponent by calling it out on a public forum. And she's learned it well. And while she's ready to fight Olsim, she wouldn't want to speak much about her weaknesses because she thinks that Jenelyn too deserves a spot at the GP.
Jenelyn, where do you think you are better than Ritu Phogat? What aspects of your game do you think you're better than Ritu?
As for now, I think we all deserve to be on the spot, yes. And on that part, I think I know myself, and I just have to be myself on the fight. And I don't see myself as better as her or as anyone, but I'm just doing my best to be here and to have what I have and deserve what I have.
Jenelyn, do you think that a win over Ritu will propel you up the top 5 rankings? And are you confident you could beat anyone in the top 5 right now?
First of all, I am very confident on myself, and I trust myself, my training, my coach, my gym, and yes, I believe that I can beat anyone that they can give me because I accept every fight that they offer, and yeah, I'm just very motivated and focused right now that I want to win.
I want to ask you both, who do you think has the bigger pressure on you? Jenelyn, do you think there's more pressure on you or less pressure coming in as an 11th hour replacement and alternate for Itsuki Arata? And do you think that puts more or less pressure on you?
I think it just made me very excited and happy, and of course it gave me a little pressure because this is the Grand Prix and I am fighting Ritu, and Ritu, I also like Ritu, and I was inspired by the movie Dangal. Yes, and yeah, I have a little pressure because but I am more excited than pressured.
Ritu, what about you? Is there more or less pressure on you now fighting an alternate at the 11th hour like Jenelyn than there was fighting Itsuki Arata?
तो प्रेशर अभी आप पर ज्यादा है, वो पूछ रहे हैं दोनों में से प्रेशर किस पे ज्यादा है उन पे, क्योंकि वो लास्ट मोमेंट पे लाई गई है कि आप पे जो लास्ट मिनट पे पता चला कि आपको उनके साथ लड़ना है।
एक्चुअली मैं कोई भी किसी भी फाइट में कोई प्रेशर नहीं लेती हूँ, मैं हमेशा एक्साइटेड रहती हूँ अपने मैच के लिए और हमेशा मतलब एनर्जी के साथ रिंग में जाती हूँ, तो मैं कभी कोई प्रेशर नहीं लेती।
She usually is untouched by pressure. She doesn't allow herself to get overwhelmed or intimidated by pressure. She usually knows that she's prepared and she follows that course of game plan.
Okay, looking at the other semi-final between Stamp and Julie Metzababa, Jenelyn, earlier I did ask both Stamp and Julie for their prediction of your fight. So now I want to ask you your prediction of their fight. Jenelyn, who do you think wins between Stamp and Julie?
Of course, I think it would be Stamp because she had improved on her grounds and she's very strong, physically strong, and she's also well-rounded fighter. She's good in striking, and yeah, I think the fight is going to go on the striking, and I really think that Stamp is going to outstrike Masa Barba. No offense to Masa Barba, but that's just my opinion.
Ritu, who do you think wins, Stamp or Julie?
मैं यही कहूंगी कि मतलब ये गेम काफी इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है कि दोनों ही मतलब स्ट्राइकिंग दोनों का बहुत अच्छा है और बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग मैच होने वाला है। अगर मैं चूज करूं तो मुझे लगता है क्योंकि स्टैम्प के पास ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस है और तो बिल्कुल मैं मुझे लग रहा है कि स्टैम्प जीतेगी, लेकिन बहुत अच्छी फाइट होने वाली है ये।
So Ritu's really looking forward to watch the match. She says it's going to be an interesting one because both of them are strong on striking. However, owing to the number of years of experience Stamp brings onto the table, she thinks it's going to be Stamp over Julie.
Okay, so there you have it. Both Jenelyn Olsim and Ritu Phogat tipping Stamp Fairtex to beat Julie Metzababa. Okay, ladies, final question, maybe the hardest or maybe the easiest question. First of all, Jenelyn, call your shot specifically, please. On Friday night, how do you beat Ritu Phogat? Do you knock her out? Do you submit her? Do you ground and pound her? Or do you decision Ritu to win on Friday?
I think I believe in the saying that never leave it to the judges for now. So I will give everything I have. I will do everything just to finish the game. It's either submission or knockout.
Okay, so Jenelyn calling a finish by sub or KO. Ritu, I see you smiling. Your prediction, call your shot. How are you going to beat Jenelyn on Friday night, Ritu?
Ritu, कैसे उसको beat करने वाले हो आप?
बिल्कुल मैं भी यही चाहूंगी कि मतलब जो भी हो मतलब जज के हाथों में ना जाए, क्योंकि वो चीज एक बार मैं फेस कर चुकी हूँ, तो मैं बिल्कुल ये चाहूंगी कि मैं जितना हो जल्दी से जल्दी फिनिश करूं।
और कैसे फिनिश करोगी आप, वो बोलना चाहोगी?
नहीं, कैसे भी हो मैं जल्दी से जल्दी फिनिश करना चाहूंगी।
Okay, so she says that she kind of concurs with what Jenelyn just said, and she says that she wants to make it a clear win for herself and not leave the decision at the hands of the judges, because she's bear the brunt of it sometime in the past. All that she's focused on right now is to wind up the match at the earliest. She wants to wrap it up as soon as she can.
So there you have it, folks. Both Jenelyn Olsim and Ritu Phogat predicting a finish, and they do not want to leave it in the hands of the judges, and also both predicting that they will go through to face Stamp Fairtex in the final of the One Women's Atomweight World Grand Prix. Ritu Phogat, Jenelyn Olsim, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you Friday night at the Singapore Indoor Stadium. Best of luck.